All right, guys, welcome to Dr. Doug Firebaugh's noon Zoom on Fridays, where it is free for everybody to join and get honestly thousands of dollars worth of coaching from Dr. Doug on a weekly basis and be able to come in and have this mastermind. I honestly can say that this mastermind is unlike any other group that I go into or have been in. It is people that have been in Dr. Doug's world, have been trained by him for, either months or years and crave more out of life. Dr. Doug has a way of training that builds you as a person, which then builds your network marketing business. And I've followed or been mentored by Dr. Doug for the last 10 years. Been very, very grateful for that opportunity to be in his space, to have him mentor me, to have him coach me. And I get to train today with Paul Capozio, who also has been coached by Dr. Doug. Paul and I met in Clubhouse a couple of years ago, thanks to Dr. Doug. Dr. Doug had his network marketing room over there. Any of you who are kind of the OGs of Clubhouse, you probably joined us. And we had some really great, I think we did 3 days a week that we were in there on Clubhouse. It was a really awesome time when Clubhouse was hopping and it was the newest thing to be in. And the great thing about those new opportunities and when you get to be around a group, the people that are attracted to Dr. Doug are a unique caliber, and that's where you guys fall in here as well. And so we're really excited to get training. Paul and I had been talking on a conversation this week, and he started talking about the difference between a why and a decision. And I was like, that's our topic. That's what we're talking about on Friday. Let's build our entire conversation on Friday around decision and why. And so we're going to involve people. We're going to train for a little bit here, and then we'll, of course, involve you guys in conversation, just like Dr. Doug does. I know he's going to try to be on. He's not here yet, but he'll join the conversation here with us as well. I'm going to start sharing my screen. And I don't have pretty slides like Dr. Doug and Jody have. I am just not that talented. I let PowerPoint do the work for me, and I don't have that graphic design bone in my body. So this is what you get when you have us here. But we want to talk about that power of decision versus your why. Upgrading your mindset in your network marketing business. I love this topic. When Paul started talking about it, it's like, yes, we talk so much about a why. A why is your emotional foundation, right? It's the fuel for the reason that you're starting. We all remember the first time we got introduced to network marketing. We all remember our first meeting or our first Zoom or our first conversation. We saw somebody's life. We saw something we wanted. It fueled something in us to be able to say, oh my gosh, I want that too. What if I could have that? What if I could start living a different life? I always love Lisa Grossman shares that she went back to her husband and was like, these people are worse looking than us. They're not as smart as us, but they're richer than us, or however she words it, right, in her Lisa way. But it's so true. You get that fuel and you go, oh my gosh, I can do this too. If that person can do it, if Angel can do it, if Paul can do it, I can do it too. If I can have that life. So you start to build this why. Your team starts to tell you to build a why. What is your why? You're asked that all the time. What is your why, Paul? What is it that fuels you every single day to go out and do this? And it's great. And you want to have a why. And then of course, there's that emotional connection, as they say, the why that makes you cry. Because if you could have this life that you dream of, if you could have this life and exist in this reality of that why, that feeling literally could put you to tears, right? What would it feel like every single morning to wake up, to actually be existing in that life? What if you've done it? You've done it. You're at the top rank of your company. You're making money. You're blessing others. You built this team. What does that feel like? That emotional connection is amazing. And it keeps you committed to doing this. I know for myself, that emotional connection to my why back when I first started kept me going through years of failure after failure. I did everything wrong. I tried to reinvent the wheel. I didn't have an upline that supported me. I kept going because I knew I had a why. I was connected to mentors like Dr. Doug and Ray Higdon at that time, where I saw that people were creating this. They were putting into me a vision for my life. And that was my why. My why was my kids. My why was because I was no longer satisfied with life. I needed more. I craved more. The ceiling, a why, I think for all of us, it removes that ceiling in our life. And a lot of us are brought up with a ceiling. You're only going to be this and you're only going to make this much. This is the best you're going to be able to do. So work towards that, go in debt to get there, and then live that comfy life of the ceiling life, right? The why removes that. And that's what it does for us. But there's limitations in a why. It leads you to a destination in your mind, but it's not the actual vehicle to get there, because you can have a why, but without a decision, like we're going to talk about here, your why is fruitless. It does not have power. It's an emotional power. It will keep you going, but it's not the actual vehicle to get there. So the transformational power of a decision, it's an undeniable burning fire to fuel your commitment. Can you tell who my mentor is when I talk like that? I hear Dr. Doug's words come out of my mouth all the time. And when I'm writing this, I'm like, yeah, these are Dr. Doug's words, but that's fine. It is. It's an undeniable burning fire. It is literally an inner fuel inside of you when you make a decision that changes everything. And I think for the people on here, chances are most of you here have made a decision, but chances are there's a few of you that haven't. You know, maybe you have hit a certain rank in your company and you got comfortable. Maybe you haven't made a decision to go a bit further. Maybe you're sitting in a comfy zone right now of your why. Maybe you've been doing this for years. Maybe you've just been doing this for months, but you're in that comfy zone of a why, but you haven't made the decision. The power of a decision is totally different. And those of us who have done it and made the decision and said yes to a decision, you know that difference. Yes, a why is fuel to keep you committed, but this is the burning fire to fuel that commitment. It makes you take action regardless of your circumstances. It can be midnight and you're like, oh, it's not the right time to message people. Yes, it is, because you made a decision. So it doesn't matter what time of day it is. You're going to make those messages. You're going to send those messages. You're going to make those connections. You're going to do the work, whatever it is within your own company that you do on a daily basis. You're going to do it no matter what. It moves you from dreaming to doing. It's great to dream. It's great to have a vision. It's great to have a why. It's great to want, but are you doing to get to that want? And then it's the catalyst that turns that why into a tangible reality. So the why for you, especially when you're first getting started, especially when all of a sudden you're opened up to this new world of possibilities, you are so far removed from that end goal that you don't even know how to get there. But if you make a decision, if you have decided for yourself, and you can only do this for yourself, nobody else can do this for you. Your upline can't do this for you. Your mentor can't do this for you. You know, Paul can't twist my arm and tell me to make a decision. I have to do that for myself, but that is the catalyst that will turn that why into a reality. And then NOPO, this is from Dr. Doug himself. I heard him teach on this years ago, and I've heard him teach on it since. No other possible outcome. Angel, your dreams are crazy. No other possible outcome. Sorry. Alan, how could you do that? How could you build bigger than you've built right now? No other possible outcome. Sorry, not listening to you. Thank you for your opinion. NOPO. Get that in your head. And even when that inner self-talk comes in, I feel like I'm yelling, guys, sorry. Even when that inner self-talk comes in and it starts saying, no, you can't. You're small, remember? Your mom doesn't believe in you. Even your family doesn't buy your stuff. How come your sister hasn't joined your company? Man, you suck. You know, when that conversation comes in, you tell that voice, NOPO, I've made a decision. There's no other possible outcome for what I'm doing. So you can just take yourself and walk away. So Paul, I would love for you to jump in now and talk about the difference between a why and a decision. And, you know, that conversation that we had when you said that, it just hit home for me, because I don't think we've ever talked on this.
Yeah. And Angel, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm super, super grateful to Doug to trust us enough, you know, to speak to this group. Right. So it does say a lot in his confidence. So I hope, Doug, we don't blow it. We'll work very hard not to. But here's what I'm going to tell you. And this goes against probably everything you've heard or read from these quote unquote network marketing trainers. Right. Guys, you can build without a why. You could never build without a decision. I'm just telling you right now, and some of you are struggling. And here's why I'm going to tell you that the first thing that popped into my head is that many of you feel you don't even deserve that why that you're thinking about. Or you'll have this nondescript why, right? I want to help people. I want to make more money. I want to help my family. Those are not specific enough. I did a hotel meeting probably 5 years ago. And we were going through that whole why thing. Remember, every network marketing opportunity was the same thing. You go up and people talk about their why. And this kid had probably the greatest why I've ever heard. And I'm going to tell you why in a second. And he said, well, what I really want is I want a Ferrari 360 Modena, which is a really nice Ferrari. It's not the most expensive one, but really nice one. He goes, and I want the leather seats that are like a Bentley with the crossed hatch leather. You know, it's like a diamond pattern on the seats. And I want the rims from the Ferrari Enzo. And the Enzo is the most expensive Ferrari you can get. So he wanted that look with those rims. And then I listened to a bunch of other whys, and they were like, I want to help people. I want to change the world. I want to change my family's life. And I said, you know what? This kid, as misguided or as guided as it was, who knows, at the time, had a very specific why down to the color and stitching on the leather of the seats. So that was a very, very powerful why. It had visualization components, but most of you, when you're coming up with your why or say, I have my why, it's not powerful enough yet because you don't believe either you deserve it or you don't believe yet that it's even attainable. And your why could change and morph over time and expand, right? But a decision is where everything starts. You know that when you finally decide to eat better, when you finally decide to, organize your closet and you make that decision, that's all the difference. So again, against contrary teaching, you can build without a why, but you could never really build without a decision. So those of you, many of you who are in the business for a long, long time are still finding that confusion state, right? I don't know what I'm doing wrong and I don't know what the challenge is. It really comes down to not having that firm decision, because once that firm decision is made, all your other decisions, your choices, the butterflies in your stomach before you pick up the 55-pound telephone, all of that goes away once that decision is made. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I know what to do next, or I know what to do on a follow-up. And we talk, and Dr. Doug has great DMO, daily method of operation, and 5 over 5 is probably one of the greatest teachings he's given me because it's done so great for my organization, because people need that. But without the decision, all these tools and these trainings that we provide for you guys are really not going to take hold, or you're not going to use them. Something I said a long time ago, and then Alan, I want to go to you and get your thoughts on this, if you don't mind, is that, when we're in that mode and we're talking to people, sometimes we question our own belief in what the heck we're doing. Right. And when we question our own belief, that's where the butterflies come in. That's where the challenges are. So sometimes you got to psych yourself up before you make those phone calls, but it starts with that decision. So I hope I didn't change I hope nobody's mad at me telling you that you've already been told for years that your why's got to make you cry. And it does. Some just don't feel like you're ready or you deserve it yet. So let's move to the decision. Alan, your thoughts?
I mean, I think the key takeaway here is that people have to have desire, and they have to, and it says here, undeniable burning fire to fuel your commitment. You've got to have a strong desire, a desire or a why, however you want to say it, that is strong enough that you're able to overcome the negativity, the no's, because guess what? You're going to get more no's than you are yeses. And you're going to hear from people who are it's what's funny is when people don't, a lot of times you want to build your success, your business in private, meaning that a lot of people won't understand your dream. It's your dream. It's your goal. It's your passion. It's what you want to accomplish. The biggest thing that I see people do, the biggest mistake, is they'll have a why, but they'll keep changing the direction they're going in. So they want to go to, and they'll be with company A and they go, didn't work. I want to go to company B. They're chasing shiny objects. They're running to the next thing. I've got some people on my team right now that are kind of new, but I literally saw one of them post 3 different companies and 3 different products in 2 days. And I said, that you're confusing. I mean, there's no commitment on your end. You've got to be committed to your desires. You got to be committed to your why, and you got to be committed to what you're doing. I had a gentleman join me that said, there's one reason I joined you. You've been talking to me about this for 10 years. I've been in this industry for 20 years. I kept waiting for you to say, what's next? What's next? Where are you now? What have you changed to? Well, no, I'm committed to where I am. If you're with the, and listen, don't get me wrong. Sometimes there's a reason to change. I've sold my position with a previous company, and 90 days later they were shut down because I saw the writing on the wall. I have seen some companies where I go, no, that doesn't fit me. I get that. But if you find the right company, the right compensation plan, the right leadership, Angel mentioned earlier about the right upline, and if it can be built with that company and it's a solid company with a great reputation, then you got to ask yourself, is it me or is it the company? Because you have to be committed to your why, and you have to be committed to, and have a burning desire to make it work. Are you doing the work that is required to achieve your dreams and goals? Are you doing the work? Because Angel mentioned earlier, if it is to be, it's up to me. It's up to you to make it happen. I mean, people always talk about me, I'm director of the company, and they go, oh, that must be nice. You think? I got no upline doing anything for me, my friend. I got nobody placing anybody under me. It's all organic. I had to build from day one. Scratch. Here we go. Start off. So look at it that way and say, hey, listen, I'm in this. If I don't make it, I'm going to die on the side of that mountain trying. That's how bad your why and your desire has to be for success.
90,000 auto ship, Alan, coming in and dropping the mic. Guys, on this mastermind, like success like that leaves clues. We always say that, right? Success leaves clues. You just heard Alan, who's created a empire on his own. And you get to come here on Fridays and hear from him. You know, these are the people you want to be tuning into. Paul is a multiple 7-figure earner in his first network marketing company. And Doug brings in these people because they're attracted to him for his training. You know, when we hear Dr. Doug speak, he's trained like over 50 millionaires in this industry and coached them. He touches a business and his anointing comes over it, and people just flourish and just take off. The fact that we get to surround ourselves with this type of knowledge and wisdom, and just the favor of God, and just, you know, be able to come together in a mastermind, this is priceless to you. The fact that you don't have to pay to be here to hear these amazing leaders and coaches speak on Fridays is just phenomenal. So thank you so much, guys, for coming in and sharing. Belief anchored in decision. We want to talk about belief. Part of a decision is your belief. It's your belief in yourself. It's your belief in many things. What do you believe? And I encourage you to take out your pens and write that down and give some time today to think about that. What do you believe in anything? What are your beliefs? Write them down. What do I believe? What do I believe about myself? What do I believe in religion? What do I believe, you know, is possible? What do I believe? What do you believe? Who are you? What is your belief? Where's your belief level? Analyze yourself and really start to say, what do I believe? Do you believe in network marketing? Now, I'm going to put money on the fact that most people on this Zoom right now, because of the level and the caliber of professionalism here in what we do, I'm going to believe you probably do. But does your team? Do your team members? Do you need to go back to your team members and say, hey, you know, I just got to ask, do you believe in network marketing? Like, I feel like you have a little bit of resistance. I feel like there's a little bit of you're not proud of what we do. What is that? How can we work on that? Do you believe in it? What are your success beliefs? If you actually sit down with yourself right now and go 3, 2, 1, do I believe I can have success? What is the actual pit of your stomach feeling? Do you say yes? Are you excited? Or is there a little bit of that? Ooh. And that is that resistance to success. That is you saying there's a little bit of something in me that doesn't believe in success for myself, that doesn't believe that I can achieve the things I see other people doing, that doesn't believe I can get to that why. And that belief, if you don't have these core beliefs, your decision is it's just not there. You cannot make a decision without these beliefs. You cannot be sold out all in like an Alan and a Paul if you do not have these beliefs. and analyze your company belief and product belief. Get immersed in what you're doing. Just because you like your product and it's working great. Okay, great. What's your company vision? Are you sold out? Are you ride or die? Like we know, Alan just said he's ride or die, like there is nothing moving him. And sometimes we see other leaders that move and you go, what the heck? Like, I didn't even know. That's because they weren't at this level with their company and their products, right? There was something missing. There was something missing in the belief. And a lot of times people, like Alan said, you recognize that, right? And you move on because you know what is required. So take a screenshot of this screen if you need to just sit down today and make sure your beliefs are in line with your decision and your why. And then decision is a declaration of faith in your business. When you're sold out, when you're ride or die, when you're like, no po, you are declaring your faith in what you say you're going to do. What are you doing to continually build your self-belief? Plugging into these Fridays, absolutely. Again, that's an absolute non-negotiable, right? Unless if you absolutely can't be here, you should be plugged in. Plug into your team trainings, plug into any mastermind you have in your company, plug in as much as you can. Don't spend your time watching the trash TV, spend your time watching motivational videos, watch documentaries on people who have created success, immerse yourself until your self-belief is so rock solid that you feel like you're 10 feet tall and nobody could mess with you if they even tried. A decision means no comparison. When you're sold out and your decision is made, you are no longer looking sideways and saying, I wish I had, who's doing that? How's she doing that? How's he doing that? How did they get there? Oh my gosh, your blinders are on and you are on the mission to your decision. Embrace your own path. Just because somebody else got there in a certain time or in a certain way, that is not necessarily your path. You have your own path. Maybe it's taken you 10, 15, 20 years to create that success. Maybe it's taken you that long to make a decision. How many of us wander around and haven't made that decision? And we're going to talk about that in the next slide. But embrace that you have your own path. Keep an abundance mentality. Most people on here are Christians. I think that's kind of who is attracted to Dr. Doug because of what he does and how he speaks. And he never doesn't bring God into it because that is the source of abundance in network marketing. If your business is blessed by God and you follow him and seek him, you will live in abundance, but you need to believe in abundance for yourself, believe in abundance for your family. Turn off the news. Don't listen to what's going on. That is only going to tell you what you can't do, what isn't out there, all the limitations that are out there, all the fear. Get rid of all of that stuff in your life and start embracing the abundance. And then all of the above, when you start walking in that belief, when you start walking in that faith for yourself, you start attracting the right people to you. You don't see Dr. Doug out there putting out advertisements for people to come to this. You don't see him out there promoting himself. He is the most humble coach that I've ever seen in this marketplace. He never promotes himself. He always promotes others. And that's because people are attracted to him for what he does, because he is the best of the best and people want to be in his circle. They want to be around him. They want to hear from him. So as you master all of this, people will start coming to you because your energy is going to be so on fire that the right people who you're supposed to work with are going to be like, I don't know what it is about you, but I'm so drawn to you. What do you do? What are these products you're sharing? Oh my gosh, I need to be around you. But beware of the comfort zone. We all like to be comfortable. We all like to feel good. We all like to, not be stirred up and have our nice days and, not have to, worry about anything. That is dreams without decisions. So as we talked about, your why is your dreams. You can you can journal, you can write your vision, you can have your vision board, you can have all of this stuff. There is no magic that's going to make any of that happen without that decision. You can end up in a state of perpetual anticipation in business. I will throw my hand up that I've been there. Definitely. Oh, it's coming. Oh, it's coming. Oh, I'm so close to that next level. Ooh. And then how many years can you sit in that anticipation of it coming? And success is always just out of reach, right? Oh, I'm getting there. Oh, next month's my month. We do our 30, 31 days and next month for me, I'm going to start over. It's going to be better. You hit the 15-day mark and you go, oh, guess it's going to be next month. That's okay. I'm going to keep going, which is great. We want to have that push. We want to have that determination and that motivation and that excitement. But without making that decision, you're going to stay in that time of next month. Oh, it wasn't this year for me. 2023 was going to be my year. Guess it's going to be 2024 because now we only have 4 months left. So I'm just going to give up and I'll start over in 2024 because that's my year. That's what I've decided, right? How many years go by where it's this year's my year? And that's the kind of what we get stuck in without that decision. Embrace uncomfort. Make it so that the idea of success feels good. You're allowed to be successful. We all know that here. We know we're allowed to be, but does it feel good? Will it feel great? A lot of you have already reached that level here. What about the next step for you? Does that feel good? Can you get there? What's the next position of success for you? Maybe it's not even within your network marketing company. Maybe it's something you do with your family or something you buy for somebody or a charity that you start working with. What's that next level of success for you? And stepping outside your comfort zone is uncomfortable, so go for it. Those uncomfortable feelings are what pushes people like Alan and Paul and Dr. Doug. They have stepped into uncomfort over and over and over again. I'm pretty sure those guys live in the uncomfort zone. You know, when I talk to Dr. Doug and he tells me all the things he's working on and doing, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, amazing what you do. He lives in the uncomfort zone. He goes for it every single day. And that's where you want to be, because that uncomfortable feeling, you have to go through it. It's just like we say, failure leads to success. You have to go through the failure. You have to go through the uncomfort to get to the decision and the belief and the, yes, I'm going to do this no matter what. And any hesitation is a missed opportunity. So if you feel that uncomfort and you lean into it and you say, I'm not going to push through it, I'm going to lean in, you miss an opportunity, because on the other side of uncomfort is always an opportunity. It's an opportunity for a conversation. It's opportunity for an open door. It's opportunity for a referral. It's opportunity to network, which is what we do. So embrace that uncomfort and go for it. I'm going to throw it to Paul, and then Paul and Alan, if you guys can cover this. I made a screen here for a decision blueprint, but I would love for you guys to really talk to people. Obviously, you guys have made the decisions and you're completely sold out and you've done this, right? If there's any 2 people on this Zoom that I know that the decision has been made and you've done it, it's you guys. So I would love, Paul, if you want to go first, and just for the people on here who maybe are going, well, I know I have a why. I know I want to do this. I know I want to have this success. I know I've reached a certain level. I could push to go a little bit further. Okay, I know I've been kind of spinning my wheels and not pushing through that uncomfort zone. What can they do to get to that decision level? What did you guys do?
Thanks, Angel. So a couple of things, and I want to go back to a little bit of Doug's trainings too, because and Alan touched on this brilliantly before about the no's, getting to the no's, right? So one of the best teachings I've ever received from Dr. Doug. And by the way, guys, I paid retail for Dr. Doug's training. What you're getting here is really, really, trust me, it's so, so valuable. I want to give something to you. I want to give you a little advice. All the notes that you're taking right now, right? I need you to be selfish until you reach a rank or 2 away from your top rank in your company. I'm going to tell you why I want you to be selfish. I'd love for you to make your notes, but it's not your job now to take those notes and then go back and try to train your team, right? You need to be selfish in constantly expanding your own business and giving them the tools. So the best thing I could tell you is one of the notes you need to write is invite people to this call. This is not a hype call. It's not a bunch of cliches strung together. We do real world coaching and training. And I know that Angel's gonna pass it on to some of the people in the audience to comment or have questions. But the no's build you. Doug always said, yeses will build your bank account and they'll build your team. You'll get your yeses. And that doesn't mean those people are going to hit the top rank in your comp plan. But the no's are going to build you. And if you don't go through those no's, because there's something I teach called, don't let your training plan and your coaching plan be your avoidance plan, right? Reading the latest book before you do your calls or before you do your follow-ups or before you do your 5 over 5 is a mistake. You're avoiding getting into that work. And we feel like we're working on our business because we're reading the latest book or we're watching the latest video, right? So those of you who have the urge to take all of these great notes and now you want to go and share, coach your team on it. No, you would have solved that problem by bringing them right here to hear it directly from Dr. Doug or from Angel or from Alan or any of the other people that you're attracted to here. Also on the NOPO, guys, it's burn the boats. I think so many of you, look, I'm a boater, right? And the biggest mistake when people would get on my boat would be they'd have one foot on the dock and one foot on the boat, and then all of a sudden they start to spread, and 90% of the time you're going to fall into the water because you haven't made that decision. You either got to commit to stay on the dock or commit to getting on the boat. But that indecision in the middle is where you drown. And it happens over and over again in life. Here's another thing. When we do these things, when we fall into this state of indecision, we think it's only pertaining to network marketing, right? Or people only quit network marketing. No one gets shocked when a Hollywood star was married for 30 days and nobody's shocked that they're getting a divorce already. Right? We don't get shocked about that, but all of a sudden somebody, gets into a network marketing company and 2 weeks later and it's like, oh, it's the industry. No, it's people. So these problems exist everywhere you look. So if we don't realize that this is human behavior and not the behavior of network marketing, then you're going to be able to take your business to the next level. Look, on the decision side, guys, I'm going to tell you, I'm a big believer right now that I would be a safe bet that 90% of these people those of you on the call, right, need to make the decision before the why. I love the dream. I love that whole thing of the dream, but the decision to me for so many people, especially first getting started, is much, much more critical. Much more critical. You'll start to learn how to believe it. How about this? Instead of the dream vacation or the 16-bedroom home with the 12 bathrooms, what about where are you for retirement right now? What about that why being an absolute necessity, something you need to do right now? And I tell people, look, if you got to make next month's rent, well then, hey, it's not going to happen that quickly. But a decision and a why can be the same when you need to know you've got to make a move and you got to make a move now. Do you know how many people right now really do not have enough money for their retirement? This is all about decision, guys. Just listen to me. When people make a decision, I have a lot of friends in the business who are cops and firemen, and they do a thing called 20 and out. And what 20 and out is they work for 20 years and they earn a pension and they're going to make this money for the rest of their lives, right? In order to do that, they had to invest 20 years to get that $2,000 a month or $3,000 a month or whatever that number is, $7,000 a month. Where else can you do that than in our industry right now? Now, you can go and trade time for money, and we get all of that, and people love the W-2 mentality. I get it. But you have the ability within 3 to 5 years to be at a 5-figure income or even a 4-figure income a month, right? And build that if you follow coaching, if you follow training. And that is a very powerful tool for people. So when we're talking to people, are we really hearing what their challenges are? Can we help them make their decision on what they need to do? And I liken it to the porta potty thing. I understand that network marketing, for some reason, may not be on the top of everyone's lists. But how about the guy when you go to a concert and there's 1,000 porta potties in the parking lot? And people are using those. Do you think that was that guy's ultimate dream, to really own porta potties and to pump out these porta potties to make money? No, but the guy's a multi-millionaire. These are huge, valuable businesses. But I doubt it was the first thing. So I tend to think our business is a lot classier than the porta potty business. So everything is relative. Everything is relative in the way we look at it, which is a part of your abundance mindset. Look, accountability. I don't like accountability partners. I like self-accountability. That's why I love 5 over 5. And those of you who don't use 5 over 5, go to Dr. Doug's trainings. Maybe Angel and I will do a 5 over 5 training. But I could diagnose a person instantly, whether they're on my team or not, even if you use 5 over 5 training and you're in another company, and I sit back and tell you, hey, so tell me what you did today on your 5 over 5. Oh, my dog was sick. If you don't have 5 people right now that you could follow up and collect a decision, you're not doing the easiest part of this business. So accountability really comes from your own daily method of operation. You could ask yourself, did I do my daily method of operation today? There's the accountability. Me or someone in your upline can say, well, tell me about your day. The dog was sick. Okay, tell me about yesterday. Well, you know, we watched football. Okay, well, I can go back and diagnose. But how about being self-accountable by just doing the math of what your daily method of operation is? I say go for boring, and I see Angel's got it in there. Guys, many of the things I'm saying right now were said to me by Dr. Doug over and over and over again, or I've read them in my notes from him over and over again. When I say them, some of you are saying, I could see some of your faces like, oh, that was a good one, right? Well, to me, I've said it 50 times already, or 100 times already. So go for boring. Boring gives you, and I use the word boring in a funny way, but going for boring gives you comfort and confidence in yourself. Going for boring means you've practiced, you've rehearsed, you've utilized it, and most importantly, you've gotten feedback from people about those teachings and trainings, and you're seeing what's working, what's not working, or how you need to correct it. And then look, I want you all to be honest with yourself, because I think sometimes we get in that zone and we kind of tell ourselves, like Angel said, you know, next year, next month, we're coming up on the new year and we all had New Year's resolutions. How many are you going to say 2024 is going to be my year? How come 2023 wasn't? Have you followed the trainings? So I know I went in a little long there. I apologize, but you know how I feel about these topics. I'm trying to help people. Alan, what do you think?
So great stuff there, Paul and Angel. Good stuff. Here's what I think, and here's what I want people to realize of this is talking about making a decision. Okay, so let's look at something interesting here. Why do most people, the largest percentage of people, when offered, and this is something you've heard before, but I'm going to relate it to what we do in this business. Why do most people, when they're offered a penny a day, 1 penny, 1 cent, doubled every day for the next 30 days, we'll give you that, or I'll give you $2 million. Why do 90% of people choose the $2 million up front? Well, part of it is belief that I'm going to take that $2 million cash now, because you might change your mind after day 10. You might change your mind after day 15 and stop giving me that penny a day. See, people think, oh, well, because they're not going to put in the work. No, it's because they don't trust you to give them the money day after day for 30 days. So give me my money up front. Yet, if you look at the number of people who spend money on the lottery, it's crazy. But see, here's the deal. People get out there in this industry and they start working and they start posting on social media. They start putting information out there. Most of them, just like with Paul mentioned New Year's resolutions, New Year's goals. You know, but before the 15th of the month, that 85% of people have already given up on. Before the 15th of the month. Well, let's look here, because the 15th of the month, the 15th day on a penny a day doubled is $163.84. And they give up after day 15. In this industry, people give up after 6 or 7 days, or they don't become consistent. You see, when you do a penny a day doubled every single day, if you skip a day, it changes the game plan. It changes the success rate. It changes the compound effect. All these numbers change when you skip 1 day. You see, because when you get over here to day 23, it's $41,973. You're thinking, I should have took the $2 million. It's day 23. I'm skipping day 24. So day 24 was going to be $83,886. But guess what day 25 is now? Is 83. And day 26 then becomes 167 instead of $335,000. You see, so day 29 is when you surpass the $2 million they handed you. Day 20, the day before you quit. You know, they talk about inches from diamonds. How close to the diamonds are you? You see, here's the thing about our business is you don't know where they are. I'm a real estate broker. You have never and you will never see a sign in somebody's front yard with my picture on it. I don't do that. I do it for my personal purchases and I do it for referrals only because. But here's the deal. Do you know that I mean, I think last year that 27% of registered real estate agents made one sale. 28% of them made one sale or more. So day 29 of consistent, persistent, every single day, not giving up, is 2,684,000. So you're up 684,000. Then on day 30, it's $5,368,709.12. Good idea. Way to stay in there, way to hang tight, way to stay tough. See, the deal is this, is if you believe, when you make that decision, as Angel said, here's what makes the decision easy. You want me to make the decision easy for you? When you look at the percentages, those people who have been with the same network marketing company for 6 years make an average of $40,000 a year. 6 years. When you get to 10 years, the people that have been with the same network marketing company consistently and persistently working it after 10 years make 97% of them make multi-six figures. Have you been with the same company for 10 years? Not just been there, not just sitting on the sidelines, not just riding the wave, not being inconsistent, not being persistent, but taking your penny a day and doubling it every single day. Have you been committed? Tell me a job, as I think Angel or Paul mentioned, where you can do that. We're talking about pension plans. Tell me a job that's going to pay you that. You see, here's the deal. When you reach that age, my ex-father-in-law, who passed away of Parkinson's, was worked for Brown and Williamson Tobacco Company and then R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company, and his pension after many, many years was $8,000 a month. That was it. See, your pension here can be $800,000 a month. That's called residual income, compound residual income that pays you whether you work or not. True walk-away residual income. So the question you got, when you make that commitment, take the commitment with this in mind. I cannot fail. If I fall, what would you do for the next 6 months? What would you do for the next 12 months? If we wrote a contract and we said, if you do this, and this, 2 hours a day, every day, at the end of next year, we're going to pay you $200,000 a year. But you got to do these things. You got to spend this 2 hours every single day, 2 hours a day, 14 hours a week. All you got to do is do these things for 2 hours a day for the next year. And at the end of that year, we're going to pay you $250,000 a year. Every one of you would be signing up going, I'm in. Well, I'm telling you, that's the way it is here. The decision Angel's talking about, making that decision, is making a decision realizing, like I said, I will be successful. There are other people ahead of me who have done it. Listen, I'm a guy from the big town of Clemens, North Carolina. I think there were 376 kids in my graduating class. Well, guess what? I was ranked number 342. But guess what I did? I quit and went and got a GED. If I can do this, anybody can do it. I'm not special. I'm a bulldog. I don't quit. I don't give up. I'm determined. I believe. All things, it says in the Bible, read your Bible. But everybody knows this quote. All things are possible to those asking if they believe. I asked twice, Alan, 4 months ago, and it hadn't happened yet. It says, keep knocking, keep asking, keep asking. Because if you ask believing in God's timing, you will achieve it. So the decision blueprint, the decision is so important. Make the decision with the mindset that a penny a day doubled. I am going to do this. I can do this. I believe it is going to happen. That's my
Hey, Angel, I just want to say, I think some people just still get confused about what really a decision is. And I think Alan kind of sparked that in me about, well, what is a decision? And a decision is simply this: it's choosing one option over others, right? You're choosing one option over others. And I think so many of you get distracted by the others and the thoughts, and to sit down and make that single decision. Right? I'm married 35 years. That's a choice. That's a decision, right? It's a decision. It's a life sentence for Linda, but it was a decision. It was a decision for me. Okay, I just want to say that I think that just understanding the definition of decision is critical, right? You're choosing one option over others.
Yes, thank you so much, guys, for that contribution and just your wisdom and coming in and sharing with everybody from your experience, from what you've already done, from what you know needs to be done. And so we appreciate you so much. Victor, Mr. Victor, what's your takeaway today?
Oh man, so many goodies from you, Paul and Alan. Number one, consistency. I think that's the number one thing here. You got to be consistent because it's boring, but it gets you the results. That's why the tortoise beat the hare. Consistency. It beats intensity. I think too often people they get intense for a few days and then they lay off for 4 or 5, 6 days. And as Alan showed, that's going to cost you a lot. So remember, success is not built in a day; it's built daily. So you got to do the boring things. And as Paul and Alan showed, so you're going to get the long-term results. You got to be patient with yourself and have that belief in yourself, because you got to believe in yourself. You come to the products and everything, because if people you're talking to don't sense that belief in you, they're not going to join you, because they need that certainty that you can help and you're going to be there for them. So the first person you need to recruit is yourself. Yeah, and the other thing, what was the other thing Paul mentioned? Oh, about being specific about everything. Your why, you visualize it. Too often we're very vague about things. Vague goals will give you vague results. At an event, I asked someone, "Do you want more money?" He said, "Yes." I gave him a nickel. I said, "You have more money. Are you happy?" He said, "No." Now, how much do you want? Is it 5,000, 100,000 money? Be specific with what you want, which is what Paul made a beautiful point about that. Too often we're very vague about it, and that's why we don't get what we want. Your subconscious mind needs concrete details. The more concrete, the better. So I would just say that, pursue that, have the belief in yourself, be accountable. And as Paul mentioned, do the important things in the morning first, the money-making activities, the income-producing activities. Talk to the people, message people. I love personal development. Everyone knows. I've read so many books on it, but don't do it first thing in the morning. You can do it later on in the afternoon, because if you wait till the afternoon or the evening, life happens, things happen. You'll say, "I'll do it tomorrow and tomorrow." Very often you don't do it tomorrow. So eat that frog in the beginning of the day. Take care of that. Talk to the people, message them, call them. Do those things. Do the income producing activities first. Everything else is fine. And here's the thing: people often don't think they have a lot more time than they do. We really don't. You have to manage your time well, get those things done, take care of it, and look at your numbers. Look at what you're doing. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. You are what your numbers are. So your numbers aren't good. You need to do something different. So keep working at it. And the last thing, what was the last thing? I'm drawing a blank right now. Oh yeah, and the other thing is sports teams. You are what your record is. Everyone knows. Now, I'm a Yankee fan here. Yankees right now stink. So you could say about all these excuses, but right now we're a losing team, and we got to do something to make it better for next year. So if your business or your team is not doing well, don't make excuses. Try to change something, work on improving things, and don't hesitate. Any hesitation is a lost opportunity, and that's too often. Someday is not the day to take action. Take action right now.
Awesome, Victor. Awesome takeaways. Thank you so much for that. That was fantastic. Always love hearing from you. We're going to go to a few more people before we wrap up for today for the takeaways. Miss Mary Kay, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Wow. I need this recording to listen to. Every single one of you brought it. And Victor, you took away the one thing I wanted to say. I've heard it before, but every hesitation is a missed opportunity. And that really spoke to me, because I can look back on times when, just recently, where I've hesitated just an hour, and then you lose the momentum. So I don't have anything to add. I just thank all of you. You are great. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that hesitation is comfort, isn't it? It's comfortable to stay hesitant for sure. Pamela, are you able to unmute and share your takeaway today? Oh, I think I'll ask you to unmute. You can't? There you
Yeah,
are.
I'm very new at this, so I don't really know. I just enjoyed the program. So did we ever have Doug come on?
Doug is here. He's hiding in the background here. He is here.
I didn't know, and so anyway,
Yes.
yeah, I enjoyed the program. Thank you.
You bet. He'll be back next week as well, training on the Friday. So definitely come back next week. So great to see you and welcome here. Charmaine, Miss Rank Advancement. What is your takeaway today? Congratulations, Charmaine.
Thank you. Thank you. Definitely a team effort. And oh, wow, it was just gold that all of you shared, Paul, Victor, Alan, and Angel. And something Alan had said earlier on, his key takeaway was something about having a strong desire or a why, but he also said, are you doing the work that's required? Right. So that having that desire, making that decision, it's great to have that decision. So it really is doing the work. And like Victor said, Victor also has tools, do it in the morning, your IPAs in the morning, because the time, like Pamela said, it does get away. So thank you for that. I've written 5 pages of notes. And the other thing that really spoke to me is embrace the uncomfortable. Embrace the uncomfortable, because there was something else that was said. Dr. Doug said last week that a lot of people have that slight hesitation, and so any hesitation is a missed opportunity. So lean in, and the uncomfortable is what will make us get to the comfortable, but also will drive that power in us and give us success. So thank you all for the shares today. It was very valuable.
Thank you, Charmaine. Yeah, and I know Dr. Doug had talked about that last week, and I think Peg had mentioned it as well, that was so important to her. So absolutely, the hesitation is something to talk on. Miss Amanda J. Hola, are you here with us today? I don't know if you're able to come on camera or not. You always have such great takeaways, and you're such an awesome leader. So would love to hear from you today on your takeaway.
Yes. Thank you so much. This was amazing, amazing, amazing. I did take notes, and I even wrote, Amanda, keep going. I love how it was like, be specific and concrete detail, because that's what Victor shared, and doing the important things in the morning. And like I wrote in the comments, this will help me, everything that Paul and Alan shared, and Victor and you, Angel, will help me like reevaluate myself. I'm listening to you guys, I'm like, okay, I could tweak that, I can change that, so that I can reevaluate and really make changes. I love, Paul, you said too, like, be jealous with what you're learning in a way, and apply it to yourself before we even go to the team. And I just thought everything, and also all things are possible to those that believe. Keep on asking in God's time. And so thank you so much. I got so many greatest takeaways. And as you were speaking, I remember I heard something, this training, and for my upline, and she said, and as you guys were speaking, I get all these downloads as well from other things that I've heard. And it's like, if you knew that there was $1 million in the mountain up there, would you, I forgot what was the analogy, but it was like, would you soar, like knowing like it's far away, but knowing that for sure it's up there, and you tell, man, there's $1 million up there. Are you going to go and get it? Will you still do those things, that the things that you really have to do? You without doubt would soar and would go and would stay consistent, no matter how long it may take, but for sure that it's for you, and to believe. And then when I heard that, it's like, wow, Lord, it's like, let me stay consistent no matter what. Let me continue to believe no matter what. So thank you. This has really inspired me to keep on going, to keep on pushing, keep on trusting and believing God that this is indeed for me. This is for me and for each and every one of us. So thank you so much. I am honored to be in this training and hear from huge mentors like you guys. So thank you.
Amen. And thank you. You are an inspiration. When I see you out there on social media, you have that drive and determination. God is lighting you up. So yes, Amanda, keep going. Keep doing what you're doing.
That $1 million is out there. I promise you it's there. It's there, whether it's in the mountain or under the mattresses or whatever the analogies are. I promise you it's there if you keep looking for it. It's there. I promise you 1000%.
Yes. Miss Diane, I'm going to go to you guys. If you don't know Diane's story, make sure to check her out on social media. She's an incredible warrior, inspiration, just an incredible attitude and energy about her. So definitely you want to connect with her. But Diane, what is your takeaway today? So great to see your face here.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to tell you what my takeaway was, because I have to say belief. I'm a firm believer in belief. Believe in yourself, believe in what you could do, believe in what you could accomplish in any circumstance. If you have that belief, you can overcome anything. And not only belief in yourself, but you have to have belief in the company that you're with. You have to believe in the products that you are using. So if you have all those three combined, you'll be unstoppable.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to go to a couple more people here. Debbie, are you able to share your takeaway?
Well, as Diane mentioned, that was my big takeaway, belief. You know, do you believe in network marketing? Do you believe that you could have success? What do you need to do to change that? If you have the belief, you're going to do it. You're going to do what it takes. So, I mean, I had a million takeaways. Thank you everyone for your inspiration and motivation. Everything was wonderful. I took several notes myself, but that belief, I think, is the core. It's the core to all of us. And I totally agree with Diane. That was my big takeaway today. So thank you for bringing that out, because it is true.
Love that. Thank you so much, Debbie. Nancy, do you have a takeaway today? So great to see you here too.
Beware the comfort zone.
Yeah.
That is probably, I like comfort. So I have to remember not to dwell in there. And when I am on a roll and I'm making my calls, and even if I'm just leaving messages, even if I don't even know if they're going to get the messages, I do it, and I do it all at once because it really works for me. Sometimes I just do. I start counting them after I'm done, and it ends up being like 60 messages. And so that's my best thing, is to do it all at once. And I like to do it in the morning. I sometimes wait until after lunch to do a lot of my things, but yeah, morning is probably better. So thanks for that. That's a good takeaway.
I love that. Thank you. We'll go to Lynn, and then we're going to get Alan and Paul's final thoughts here. Lynn, what is your takeaway today? Yes. If you can unmute.
Sure.
There you are.
I'm pretty excited that I had never heard that NOPO before. So I don't know why. So at least it hit me, and I took it in today. No other possible outcome. Sorry. And so, the first person that you need to recruit is yourself, and and maybe my husband as well. But we got to get resold on this, and because there's I know I'm not leaving. I know I'm in the right company. So
yes,
and being with you all for sure.
That's awesome. And that decision is there, right? And so it's building on that. Absolutely. Yeah. And it can be no other possible outcome for your income. So we can add in income with that. When Dr. Doug said that, it just stuck with me. There's those things, well, so many things that he said have stuck with me, but it's just one of those where it's like, NOPO. My kids hear it so much, they're probably like, okay, Mom, that's enough of that, but that's fine. Alan, what are your final thoughts for today?
I love what everybody's commenting on here, and I love that they're so engaged in taking notes, and I see heads going up and down and pens writing, because thanks. I mean, it was an amazing presentation, Angel, as you always do. Always very impressive. And so I've got lots of notes here, and the key is just this: what we're talking about here is you your desire, your decision, and your commitment to you, your family, your generation. You see, that's who you got to be committed to first. You can't want it more for somebody else than they do. Angel mentioned that earlier. And so, listen, if you're greatly successful, that's you. You get all the accolades, all the money, all the credit for that. And if you're not, it's on you. If it is to be, it's up to me. Because if you have to reach out to me or Angel or Paul or Doug, we're here to help you and to encourage you and coach you to be successful. So I tell people all the time this, and this is my final thought I'll leave you with. Each night when you go to bed, I've got a little sticker on my mirror that says this, and you may want to write this down and put it. You don't have to have it just by your mirror. That's where you brush your teeth, I hope. And it says this: if my team did what I did today, would my business have grown? You see, because your team is going to do about 80% of what you do. It's just the way it is. I don't make the rules. It just is. Okay. So ask yourself that question every night. If my team did what I did today, would my business have grown? Some days the answer is an obvious no. Some days maybe a little bit, and some days we're rocking it. But see, motivate yourself. Do that. Look at yourself in the mirror every day and remind yourself, hey, I got this. I am going to be successful. That's my final thoughts. Thank you, Angel, for heading this show up today. You did an awesome job. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you so
And
much.
everybody for participating.
Yeah, we appreciate you so much being here and talking with us on this topic. I was so glad to see you here. So thank you so much. And thank you for your kind words. It means a ton. Paul, final thoughts for today.
Well, first of all, great call, everyone. And I love the comments from those of you who commented at the end. Sorry, we couldn't get to everybody, but I guess I was a little long-winded today. So I apologize for that. But here's a little bit of advice I'd love to give you. You've learned a lot of great things today and you took a lot of notes. But when you make changes to your daily method of operation, or when you hear something that sounds exciting or what someone else is doing, make those corrections in very small increments and very gradually. Don't change what you're doing until you know it works or doesn't work. Stick with your daily method of operation. And when you hear these great ideas, or when you see some Facebook ad about, how to recruit 1,000 people in a week and a half, okay, I just need you to take it with a grain of salt. I need you to make sure you're making these slight corrections. Alan drives an RV. I drive a boat. You can overcorrect very easily, and you could put a lot of people in harm's way. Okay. Don't overcorrect your business. If you hear a great idea, before you share it with your team, and make sure it's something that integrates. If you heard something here that is contrary to what your upline is teaching that's working for you, again, take that with a grain of salt. So use a little bit of temperance when you're trying to incorporate these new ideas into your business. Don't change things too quickly, but consistency is the most important thing. And then I'll end with this. So I talked about the definition of a decision, which is choosing one option over other options or many options. Well, what's the definition of a why? Well, a why is just understanding that the things that are motivating you behind your actions. That's all a why is. What's the thing that's going to be that motivating factor behind what you're going to do? So if you do have a why, whether you need to adjust it or not going forward, is that why truly motivating you? And if it is motivating you, what actions are you taking with that why? So don't misunderstand me when I say you shouldn't have a why. I did not say that. What I said was you can build a network marketing business without a why, but you needed to make the decision. And then as that why starts to come into play, understand what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to get you off your butt. It's supposed to be that reason for you to stick with the decision that you made. So Angel, thank you so much. Alan, great Insight. Dr. Doug, I love you. Thank you so much for everything you've done for me. Thank you for the opportunity to come here and share. It's been a heck of a ride. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Paul. And I appreciate you so much and for coming on with me and sharing and today was awesome. I got a ton out of it. And guys, the inner work is so important. That's what Dr. Doug, honestly, without Dr. Doug and without God, I would not be the woman that I am, because he instilled in me the inner work. He instilled in me the mindset. He taught me how important that is. If you see somebody in your company or in another company or somewhere that has what you want and you don't have it yet, they simply just have more belief and have made a bigger decision than you have. They've decided to go after it, and that's it. That's the only difference between you and them. You can take the same daily action steps. You can go and get it too. That's the only difference. But it's this inner work we need to recognize within ourselves. Only we can be honest with ourselves. It's just, as we said, nobody can make our decision. Nobody knows what our blocks are either. Only you know that. Only you know in those hesitation moments, why do you feel comfortable? Only you know that. So that's what I love about this mastermind, and the way that Dr. Doug just pours into us and just gives the conversations that he talks about, and the way that he shows us to build relationships, and he makes it about the people. And when he trains and coaches, he makes it about you. Right? It's really getting into the inner of who are you in this business and how are you going to do this? And so I am honored. Thank you so much, Dr. Doug, for allowing us to be here today and train on your platform in front of your people, and be on this noon Zoom today. We appreciate you so much. I love you to pieces, and you know that. And I just ask all of you, invite people here next week. Come and get fueled by Dr. Doug's wisdom next Friday at 12 Eastern. Invite. Let's really see this mastermind just grow. And I hope you all have a blessed weekend. Go and do the work today and tomorrow. And I just wish you massive success. So God bless you guys. Thank you so much. And thank you, Paul and Alan.
Bye-bye, everyone. Angel, amazing job. So
Thank-
everyone.
Victor. Thanks, Angel.
Bye, guys.